Good morning. It's a little bit breezy, and I decided it was a beautiful day to just be here, soaking up the sun before it gets too hot. And as those sun rays are just coming right through me, it's just wonderful. So today I would just want to bring in this is a lifestyle one. Now we have these videos on food on Mondays and on lifestyle on Fridays, and what's been coming up a lot is not just for me but for people that I'm working with, is this kind of a self-definition thing that comes up again and again and again, and we struggle with getting into this space of seeing who we are as one thing. This is who we are. We have this self-definition, and like we describe ourselves as, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I feel, this is how I be. And in that, and speaking of these bees are having a wonderful time here in the sage. I'm loving just being next to them and hearing their buzz, and it smells really lovely too. So how we be. So that self-definition is great for when we define ourselves. That gives us an idea of who we are. And we also give ourselves the opportunity to stay in that space for a long freaking time when maybe it didn't serve us beyond that time that we set it the first time. So when you define yourself, and now I'm starting to get sweaty already, I'm starting to get a glow on here. Yeah, it's warming up fast. It's fall, but it's not fall. So who you be now, how you define yourself. If you were to define yourself right now on a piece of paper, what would you say about yourself? I am kind, I am thoughtful, I am courageous, I am bold, I am a powerful influencer, I am, hi Cindy, I am shy, I am an introvert, I am an extrovert. So when we use those words for ourselves, we put ourselves in this, I only have one hand, but we put ourselves in this box. I have two hands, but I'm holding the phone. I get it. So you put ourselves in this box, and if we continue to define ourselves that way, we stay in that box. So when you make a choice for something, if you start to yearn, you start to push at the sides of that box, because at some point that box might not feel so comfortable. And when that box doesn't feel comfortable and you push at those edges, if you keep defining yourself that same way, that's what you believe about yourself, and that's where you stay. So this is a bigger subject, and there's a lot to it, and I do a lot of coaching on this, and if you want a sample session to try this out and see where we can go with it, I'm happy to offer a complimentary session. It's fun for me, and yes, this is my profession. I don't do this all for free, but I'm happy to do 15 minutes with you. Just message me and we'll play with this a little bit of who you be, how you define yourself, and then how do you choose to define yourself. When you look at yourself, imagine yourself 20 years from now. Who are you? Who are you? Are you adventurous? What are you in 20 years that you see, that you dare see? And I challenge you to dare see it. Instead of, and one of my coach friends described it this way in a mindset, driving through a very expensive, luxurious neighborhood, she and her husband drove past this house, and the first thing she said out of her mouth was, I could never afford to own that house and live in that house. So she just determined that, and guess what? She just defined herself as someone who could never live that luxuriously. So be bold. Be bold with your imagination of who you want to be, who you are meant to be. Because deep down, our hearts do know. And if you're a religious person, whatever your greater being is, whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whoever that is, whatever that is for you, Go in deep to that. What are you meant to do and be here? In your heart, that capacity is there. And when you're starting to define it and put boxes around it, you're closing off that possibility. So open that up to the possibility, not that you are that right now, but just a vision who that is, who you are, what you bring to this world, what you bring to your life. And in that space, feel how that feels. Just right here in your heart, feel how that feels. It's probably different than how you're living this exact moment. And that's totally okay, because life is a journey, right? So this is where you get to set intention. And when you create that and write it down, solidifies that. And then which of those parts can you start to practice thinking about yourself as that? And even saying out loud. And your body's not going to believe it if you say, I am this. But you can say, I am becoming this more every day. And that's the beginning of shifting to who you really meant to be and what you're meant to bring in this world that fills your heart. And we're talking a lot this month about stress and oxidative stress. And when you're not living here in what you're meant to be and do, you're at what I call dissonance instead of resonance. And that dissonance creates dis-ease in your body. That creates oxidative stress, actual physical stress in your body that starts to damage inside. It starts to damage what's happening in your brain, and it starts to damage what your capacity is physically and emotionally. So, how are you going to choose to move forward today from where you are to where you want to be tomorrow to where you want to live in this life, and what do you want to bring to it? And maybe that's really weird and esoteric to you. There's so many possibilities. And when we create these definitions of ourselves, we limit the possibilities. And sometimes it's a good thing, because sometimes it can feel really overwhelming. And if we got to choose, and we do get to choose, what we want that to look like, we can help create the direction that we go. So that's what I've got for you today. And if you found this to be helpful or interesting, or you just want to put this out there and say, this woman is really strange, you can do that. Totally into that. And then go ahead and share this. I would love to have you share this, because there are so many people living in these boxes who don't need to live in these boxes, who don't deserve to live in these boxes. And I know there was a friend of mine who just the other day said, I have never really pushed. I've never found the extent to which I could push myself. We get comfortable, and it's easy to stay comfortable, and we can live a comfortable life. And if that's okay for you, fine, great. And in here, for a lot of us, that is actually how we get that dis-ease, which can create problems with our body, which can create problems with how we experience life. And we do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves. So let's not. So share this with someone you know, or share it on your page and make a comment on it of what you're going to do, what you're choosing. It's going to be a little bit different, and what you're adding to your self-definition. Just one thing that you're adding to how you define yourself, looking into the future of who you want to become. I want to become more compassionate. I want to become bolder. I want to dare to push myself. So I am daring to push myself more. Hi, Brooke. I am daring to push myself more today than I did yesterday, and not push as much as open myself up to possibilities, and be willing to be brave, to be willing to be courageous in stepping into possibility, even when I don't know what it looks like. Now that's kind of a big one. And I just declared that publicly, and I truly feel that that's a good place for me in my heart to step forward. and give myself out to what I meant to be. And I don't know what that is yet, and I don't have to know what that is, but to be open to that. And I choose to be more open today than I was yesterday to the possibilities that are there for me, and to step into them when they show up for me. What about you? So I dare you, I challenge you to post this on your page and put what you choose. And tag me on it so I know that you've done it. And that bringing that out into the universe, bringing that to the forefront is a prayer to help that come to fruition. And you deserve it. And so do the people you love. So put that out there and share it. Hi, Kimberly. So thank you so much for watching. Kimberly, you're going to have to catch the replay. If you're here in a replay, go ahead and pop replay in there. And thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope there's somebody you love who you can share this with, and you can both have a little bit of expansion today, a little bit more opening, a little bit more elbow room. I can't do elbow room with that my phone hand. So a little bit more elbow room in your life, and make that be a happy space, a good energy space, positive space, where you can feel comfortable and you feel that growth happening. You feel the tendrils unfurling. And by having those tendrils just start to unfurl, that's that freeing feeling. And it's very green if you talk about tendrils, right? And that can be the same for you. It's really organic. So less stress. Oh, I got to put that on the header. Stress less. So this is one way to start stressing less. Hi, Kim. And that's a practice, and we get to do that every day. So stress less by choosing more than what you experienced today. So what is that? So I challenge you, go post it on your page, share this on your page, and post at the top on your header what you choose to expand into, one thing that you choose to expand to become more of in that vision of who you are becoming, so you can step into it. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on Monday with some foodie. We're just going to be coming back from camping, so we'll have to see what that is. And again, always, if you have ideas, I'd love that. So again, see you then. Have a fantastic weekend. Bye for now.